I'm back. Again, I'm going to move right into these cards. So I'm going to read this and then perform the action, then discuss which parts of speech we're working with today. So it says, throw your eraser. I'm going to use a mandarin orange up to the ceiling, pick it up, and throw it down to the floor. Then the next actions are look upward to the ceiling and look downward to the floor. So I'm going to perform that. So it says throw your object, I'm going to use my orange, up to the ceiling. Alright, and then say I let it fall. I'm going to pick it up and throw it down to the floor. Then it simply asks me to look upward to the ceiling, and then look downward to the floor. So all of these told me how to perform an action. So if you notice, these are pink in color, and words that tell us how to perform an action are known as adverbs, right? And so the meaning is really explained really well within the term adverb. So you're adding an action, so to speak, to a verb, to an action already. So if I'm going to look, the action is look, but it's telling me how to look. So I'm going to look upward. I'm going to look downward, right? So that's the purpose for an adverb, is to tell us how to perform an action. So I'm going to read this next card and then demonstrate. So just take notice, the action here is raise, right? And then the last one is walk. I'm not going to do that simply because it's kind of difficult to have the camera follow me around. But this says raise your hands alternately above your head. So I'm going to raise my hands alternately above my head. Right? Then the next one says, raise your hands simultaneously above your head. Simultaneously above your head. Right? So I performed the same action for both in both examples, but the first action I did it alternately, and then the second action, my adverb was simultaneously. So one after the other. Right? Then this next one says walk around the room bowing to each pupil or person or whoever's in the room in succession. So meaning one after the other. So you say, oh, hello, hello, hello. So you're going in succession, greeting people one by one. This next card says rise slowly from your seat. I'm going to do that first. So rise slowly from your seat. Okay. And then the next action it's asking me to perform is rise abruptly from your seat. So rise abruptly. All right. So both are asking me to perform the same action, which in this case, again, is rise. Rise right here. The first one, I did it slowly, so it told me how to perform the action, which was slowly. The second one, it asked me to do it abruptly, which is quickly. Like if someone's in a hurry, they're late to something. Okay, so I'm going to move through these next adverb cards. I'm going to read them a little quicker than I've read other cards in previous videos. And then again, you can feel free to pause where you like. You can fast forward where you want. Just tap 2 times on the video on the right or left, and it'll fast forward or reverse. So this says, go to the other side of the room. Now come back to your place. Walk to and fro across the room. Right? And again, just to reiterate, as always, it's really important to do the action. You can sit there all day and go on Google Translate and translate the words directly, but really the meaning is just so much more ingrained when you perform the action physically, and you see the action performed, or you're doing it physically. It really helps to retain the terminology. And a lot of people I've seen it all the time in classrooms, college classrooms, university classrooms. People have aha moments like, oh, wow, that's what that means. So although it seems very simple, it's a really profound activity when you realize and understand what a word means by performing the action. So again, this says, ask your friend to walk around the room holding his arm in a position of his choice. Now you do likewise. Likewise or the same. Walk across the room, stopping frequently. Return to your place, stopping occasionally. Walk to the door, meanwhile keeping your eyes closed. Sharply order your neighbor to rise from his seat. Ask him gently to sit down again. Sit sullenly in your place with your eyes lowered. Now smile kindly at your neighbor. So just one thing I want to point out. If you notice these last two adverb cards, the words end, the suffix ends with ly. Now, all words ending in ly or having the suffix ly are adverbs. Okay, but not all adverbs end in ly. Okay, so just something to clear up, something very easy to remember. If you see a word ending with ly, sharply, gently, quickly, rapidly, slowly, all of those words are adverbs. But just because a word does not end in ly, it does not mean it's not an adverb. It simply has to, the adverb, you just have to ask yourself, is it telling me how to perform an action? That's really the purpose of an adverb. Okay, so the next card states, run straight into the other room. Return to your place walking zigzag. Right, so straight, zigzag. Again, the action is run and then return. So it's telling you to run straight and then return zigzag, right? Lay two rulers crosswise on the table, then lay them lengthwise on the table. So crosswise, lengthwise. So it's telling you how to lay the objects down. Walk lightly into the other room. Return to your place walking sedately as if you were an important person. Walk across the room and back, resting heavily on each step as though it were hurting you to walk. Again, all of these have the suffix ly. Just to note, take note, those are all adverbs. Offer your chair politely to your neighbor. Shake hands cordially with your neighbor. Stand in the middle of the room, then walk backwards to the window. Return to your place walking forwards. And last, go and stand near the door. Suddenly, you run away from the door. Then you come back to the door. Again, guys, all of these adverbs are really helpful to practice. If you can perform these with a friend or someone, a family member next to you, really helps to remember and retain the meanings. Hope this is helpful as always. Please stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.